At first, this was a place to play games, socialize, and have fun, but slowly this game has went on a sick and twisted spiral into depravity. It's gone to the point where moderators and admins are doing borderline predatory shit and barely getting a slap on the wrist. Of course, I'm talking about VRchat. Whilst in every community, no doubt there are going to be sickos and weirdos, but you see it way too often in VRchat, to the point where there are channels dedicated to being the Chris Hansons of VRchat, and they get like one video a week. Before, this game was a place where everyone would dress up as a Sonic character and ask the way, but now it feels like every turn you take, you see a furry with massive tits that have jiggle physics down to every molecule of the avatar. So we're going to be going to 2018, the golden era of VRchat. VRchat early on just used to be a fun little place where people would play mini games, make viral memes, and socialize with people from all around the world, learn their stories. With there being titans of YouTube playing the game and making fun content. One of the most prominent groups that you've probably heard of in the VRchat space was The Boys. I watched them quite a lot back then, but if you didn't, I'll give you a rundown. They did a lot of skits with funny humor at the time, a lot of them gaining quite a lot of notoriety, having upwards of 10 million subscribers. Overall, their videos showed this positive side of the game where it was just a bunch of friends dicking around. But even outside of the big videos with lots of views, if you look at the actual game's numbers, it looked like most people were watching the content rather than playing the game. Most likely because VR headsets were really expensive at the time. And we can't forget one of the biggest pieces of media to come out of it. Do you know that way? Whether or not you find it cringe now, you have to admit it was pretty funny back then in 2018. And it showed VRchat as a positive game where people would make little friend group jokes that eventually turn into viral media. And not what you see now, where there's just a bunch of unemployed people spending their Centrelink payments on fat furry skins with customizable fart power.
Wait! Stop scrolling! We are the big gassy fairies!
I mean, back then, they even had a CG5 song. Granted, it was terrible, but nonetheless was a feat. And around after COVID ended, the game was still gaining players, and if you look at it nowadays, it reached its all-time peak of 60,000 players just 2 months ago. It's most likely due to VR headsets only getting cheaper, especially compared to back then where you had to sell one of your kidneys just to do a little inflation roleplay.
But once that year is up, you are mine.
Now it's only 500 to 1,000 to get a good headset. But even with its long history, there isn't really a time when the depravity and insolence came into play. It was always kinda there, lurking in the darkness, waiting to tell you how the West has fallen and we need to fight in Agartha where Captain Braphog and Incredible Gassy will lead the charge. But there are normal people on VRchat who just like to hang out. But the main content you see about it nowadays is just not the best look for the game. Primarily, trolling content. Trolling content has become insanely prominent in the VRchat space, as a lot of people within the game treat it, well, like it's real life. With most of their social circle and free time going in this game, it makes people disassociated from the real world and have their little VRchat world feel a lot more serious than it should be, so they are prime bait to make fun of. That's where YouTubers like Proximity Chat and many others come in. Whilst trolling content has existed for years, dating back to bullying little kids in Minecraft, to watching grown men get mad over fail RPing and Gmod.
I think I'm going much too fast, I must slow them down.
Fuck's sakes!
He seemed happy.
VRchat trolling is just something else. As I said before, a few people in VRchat seem to take trolling way more seriously than it should be, because they don't really have anything going on for them in life. Whether it's walking through them and triggering their very real phantom sense, or when they rewrite the entire Bible in their bio with mental disorders, people will be clicked to press the record button and make fun of you for being chronically online. Trolling content's funny because they're not just yelling slurs into someone's ears. If you are going into VRchat and doing something along the lines of that, you're not funny and that's not good trolling. Some of the most prominent VRchat trolling YouTubers being Proximity Chat, who in my opinion is the funniest, Meso Mayo and Jonkstrap, who are also pretty entertaining. And even if you haven't heard of them, you have probably seen their videos somewhere.
Yeah, you can turn personal space settings on.
People don't want that.
Yeah, but you're complaining, acting like there's not an easy way to fix it.
It's
This isn't real life, dude.
Yes, but people treat it like it's real life sometimes. You understand what I'm getting at?
You shouldn't treat this like it's real life.
Oh, we're done talking.
I'm just gonna say this, even if you have personal space, it doesn't give them the right to yell in your ear.
They yelled at her, they were all up in her face.
Yeah, block them, dude. It's a game.
As you can see in this video, VRchat players genuinely don't want to listen to common sense. Granted, this is like free people and it's unfair to stereotype all VRchat players to them, but it still does make a point. Some people in VRchat live in an echo chamber where they'll ban anyone who disagrees with them and will never admit fault. Primarily, you'll see these echo chambers within VRchat families, and they are probably the best way to get groomed. Usually these VR families consist of some random older guy or girl who don't have the best relationship with their parents, getting young guys and girls who have bad home lives and recruiting them into a VRchat family. Now, whilst I think there are some normal people on the platform who are in a VR family, you will get a lot of degenerates and insults with this. I actually have a prime example of a VR family. I have a friend who has had experience of being inside one of these, and let's just say they do some really weird and borderline predatory shit. And it all started with my friend Jetcord.
Take off the foo-foo, take off the cloud chase, take off the Wi-Fi, take off the money phone, take off the car loan, take off the flex and the white loss, take off the weird ass jewelry, I'ma take 10 steps, then I'm taking off top off, take off the fabricated streams and the microwave memes, it's a real world outside, take off your idols, take off the runway, take off the Cairo, take off the Sandro, pay 5 days stay, take off.
It all started when my friend Jetcord was looking into someone else planning to make a video on them, and then he inadvertently found a group of people called The Family. The main leader was a man named Ada. He seemed to be the father of sorts to around 90 members that he called his kids, and his entire profile was based around a lolly named Neptune. My friend was curious and wanted to join. One of the requirements was doing an interview with the owner Ada, and whilst most of the questions were along the lines of what's your favorite anime, nowhere did he ask Jetcord his age. For context, Jetcord is 17, and one of the last questions were, who is your favorite wife? Now this guy couldn't do the least to ask Jetcord's age, and apparently asking him what his favorite waifu was
the biggest topic, but the last question is, do you have any waifus?
To him, that's way more important. And when Jetcord joined the server, it was disgusting. The NSFW chats weren't even marked with 18+ and had lolly in them. People were casually erotic role-playing in the no mic chat. This was incredibly concerning, as they 1, didn't do the bare minimum of age checking before allowing a minor into the server filled with quite a lot of porn and stuff a minor shouldn't see. 2, the owner was obsessed with lollies, making his entire profile about one. This wasn't helping his case of him being a creep. Jetcord got all the information he needed from the server and left shortly afterwards. He then posted his video keeping a segment about Ada and his really weird actions. Although Ada didn't comment personally, his server members did, defending him by simply saying there's no context. And so I'm curious. What more context would you need? So I attempted to get them to do an interview so they could have a voice and talk about any further context they felt was missing, and I got ghosted quite a few times. Did also attempt to message Ada himself, only for me to immediately get blocked, and I mean like immediately, like 5 minutes later. It was seeming a bit pointless. Their only rebuttal was a missing context, then refused to add the context. And keep in mind, I looked through everything I could find, and not once did I see anything apologizing to Jetcord for not properly age checking. You guys immediately defended yourselves and the server, but not once did I see one apology going out to Jetcord for exposing him to those images. But later I caught one of Ada's defenders streaming, so I attempted to confront him.
Do you know Ada?
Yes, why? He's my friend.
Oh, I saw the Jetcord video, and I saw your comment. What is the context you were talking about?
I don't need this shit right now. Just saying. I'm not talking about it because I'm trying to forget it, because all it is just ramblings to me. That's all it is. People have their own opinion on other people.
He said he doesn't want to talk about it, so stop with the annoyances already.
Listen, you claim that context needs to be added, and I'm wondering what it is. I'm down for someone to private message it to me on Discord or something.
And I am not going to add people on Discord that I do not know. So yeah. And also, thank you, Talos. and I'm guessing you're the one that, asked about, what's it called? Me on the YouTube?
That's fucking crazy. That is crazy. Wow. So they deflected, refused to add further context, and then banned me. I'm starting to think that there is no context. Just a hunch. But he himself said that people will have opinions of people. And especially at that time, people had a poor view of Ada due to the video. So surely, if you had more context that would vindicate him or help his case, you'd want to add it. I personally just believe that there is no further context to this at all. And his whole, I'm not going to add people on Discord that I do not know, so you're fine with your friends sending drawings of mine as getting but friending someone on Discord is where you draw the line. Now this is a man of morals and dignity right here. As you can see, VRchat families are an echo chamber where they will refuse to believe that they could ever do wrong, so they come up with delusions to tell themselves as a way to keep their mind at ease. If people in Ada's servers want to comment below and defend themselves, I'd be willing to do a live stream where I will invite you all up to talk about the situation and we can go on from there. Or you could friend me, Ada. I already sent you a friend request on VRchat. It's Fart Fetish Guy. I repeat, I'm gonna move past this section because I know I'm gonna be ranting about how dumb these grown-ass adults are for way too long. Anyways, speaking of child... A while ago, allegedly, a VRchat moderator was caught with a full-on lolly child avatar with working genitalia and a piss mechanic with piss collision. What? And of course, they just had to record themselves erotic role-playing with the avatar. This is downright creepy. And during a live official VRchat show, someone found a way to hack into the media player and played a recording of the moderator, you know, ERPing with a child avatar. And whilst the people who were playing the video were quickly banned with help from the community manager, the moderators involved were not. And when the community manager was asked to look at this large Google Drive exposing the mod, they looked at it for 12 seconds and claims they couldn't do anything even though he has the highest perms in the Discord and was actively helping with banning the people playing it. This information was gotten from Brandon FM that I got through Royalty is Here's video. I know, I'm lazy, but I did do the bare minimum and checked in the VRchat Discord, and a lot of people were claiming that a lot of Brandon FM's research was false or misleading, but I don't really see any arguments as to why. If you do know the proper context, please comment below, I am very curious. Also, quite a few messages talking about Brandon's video in a negative light were left up, whilst some were deleted, and only after the video was made, they were temporarily stripped of their moderator as they investigated themselves and found themselves not guilty. These are your community figureheads, the people that set an example, and if this is true, the example they're setting is, yeah, you can look at lollies having sex with a P modifier, only if you're low-key chill about it though. This is teaching people like Ada that it's okay to look at drawings of children. Ada's not really chill fit, so he doesn't get a pass. And is why VRchat has a bad rep if this is true. They actively make their player base worse for children in the community. Anyways, that's all I have to say. Join my Discord below, it's in the description. Also, subscribe with notifications on, as I do plan to stream and make more of these videos and react to drama in real time. Bye bye, gang!